Hello and welcome! Today we're going to explore some fascinating facts about the 1980s. This decade was a time of incredible change and innovation, with technological advancements, bold fashion trends, and cultural shifts that shaped the world we live in today. So, sit back, relax, and let's take a trip down memory lane to the 80s. Our first fact is about the explosion of video games in the 1980s. Games like Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and Space Invaders became household names, and arcade culture was born. The era of home console gaming also began, with the release of the Nintendo Entertainment System (NES) in 1985. This new era of gaming would pave the way for the immersive virtual worlds we enjoy today. Next, we'll dive into the political climate of the 80s. The Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union reached its peak in this decade, with fears of a nuclear war looming over the world. This era saw the rise of Reaganomics, a set of economic policies that prioritized military spending and a free market approach to economics. This era of global tension would have a profound impact on the world we live in today. Now, let's talk about the fashion of the 80s. This was the era of big hair, bold colors, and unique fashion statements. The punk and new wave music scenes gave rise to some of the most iconic fashion trends of the decade, with popular styles including neon accessories, shoulder pads, and brightly colored clothing. The 80s was a time of individualism and self-expression, and the fashion of the time reflected that. Our fourth fact is about the technological advancements of the 80s. The personal computer revolution began in this decade, with the release of the first Macintosh computer in 1984. The Internet was also created in the 80s, paving the way for the digital world we live in today. These technological innovations would transform the way we work, communicate, and live our daily lives. Finally, we'll explore the cultural shifts of the 80s. This was a decade of self-expression, with an emphasis on individualism and creativity. The music and art of the time reflected this, with popular genres including hip-hop, new wave, and heavy metal. Artists like Madonna, Michael Jackson, and Prince became cultural icons, shaping the music and art of the 80s and beyond. And there you have it. 5 fascinating facts about the 1980s. This decade was a time of incredible change and innovation, with lasting impacts on the world we live in today. We hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, and we'll see you next time.